Gonna give me about 1 more minute to admit a few more people in and us making sure that the stream is up and running. And I'm gonna get right back to you. Okay, we only have humans and no AI so far. This is really, really nice because usually we get really, really flooded with those. Amazing. Okay, once more. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Pascal. I'm Hacker Success with ETHGlobal, and I would like to welcome you to this workshop, What to Expect at ETHGlobal Buenos Aires. This is roughly a 60-minute workshop. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I will go over them piece by piece as I go through this workshop and through a bunch of information. Please keep your microphones and your cameras off for the time being. This workshop is also recorded, so it's not mandatory to be here. You can always rewatch this recording afterwards on YouTube, and I'm also going to be sharing this on the Discord. Amazing. What's going to happen, I'm going to go over everything that you need to know to succeed at the hackathon, being it how to navigate through our hacker dashboard, where everything actually is, how to approach the hackathon, what to do. And again, if you have any questions, just type them in the chat. We're also going to have a dedicated Q&A session at the end if there is a need for that. Amazing. So first things first, I'm going to do a little bit of shilling. So you all are signed up for the hackathon, which is fantastic. It's our long-awaited return to Argentina. Last time we were here was in 2018, actually the first official ETHGlobal hackathon. But what's going to happen a day before the hackathon starts on November 21st is our Pragma, which is not a hackathon, but our single-day conference. It's always a great event. I appreciate and like those quite a lot because we have high quality speakers, we have amazing people. It's a great way to network and also connect with people before the hackathon and get some ideas, because a lot of times we have partners that are supporting us during the hackathon, also during Pragma, and it's great to interchange with like really, really high skilled and really, really high quality people, hackers, and overall amazing people, especially since it's during DevConnect, the creme de la creme, like the best people are gonna be in Buenos Aires, so I'm really stoked about that. In general, the event is $99. It's a ticketed event. If you are a hacker, which all of you in this workshop are, you get a discount. It's $49, get full access, swag, food and drinks, and networking. And also you get a guaranteed access to the happy hour that happens directly afterwards. So here is a list of all the confirmed speakers. We usually have founders or C-level of different protocols and projects. So if you look at it, it's just really, really high quality people. The event starts at 9:30, so registration opens at 9:30 on the Thursday, and it's at Masion Fun Time in Buenos Aires. So I'd say fairly close to the actual hackathon venue. Amazing. And one more piece of shilling to that as well. We do have a thing that is called packs. We have community packs, which all of you should have minted one, which would be the hacker pack. They have certain perks. It's an on-chain NFT. The hacker pack, after you finish the ETHGlobal Buenos Aires hackathon and submitted a project, you get perks like a free ENS domain or an extension for an existing ENS domain for 1 year, which is pretty cool. And we also have purchasable packs, which, for example, would be the city pack. So for Buenos Aires, we do have the pack that includes a Pragma ticket, access to the happy hour, a staking discount for the hackathon. You can bring a guest to Pragma, so you can get 2 tickets for the price of 1. You get $99 off of ETHGlobal Plus, and you get a complimentary 5 gigabyte eSIM for Argentina, and access to some of the side events at DevConnect that are ticketed, and sometimes you have to pay for them. Here you get the access or reduced access free. And if you're flying in from something that operates with Air Canada, you get 10% off Air Canada flights to Buenos Aires. So the pack is since it's reduced, $116.01, usually $129. So if you get any of the stuff from the pack plus the Pragma ticket, it pretty much pays for itself. and one more piece of shilling on what we're having, and then let's get to the actual hackathon stuff. So ETHGlobal runs amazing hackathons. If this is your first time, you will see. If you're a returning hackathon attendee, you know that we're, say, like on top of the business. We also run conferences, and starting next year, what we're going to do is run a 3-day conference in New York City. It's going to be ETHConf, a conference entirely focused on everything happening in Ethereum. It's going to be June 8th to 10th in New York City at the Jarvis Center. It's going to have over 5,000 attendees, 100 of the top speakers in the industry, 100 plus exhibitors, and a bunch of things that are happening in the industry. Here is a list of the confirmed speakers that we're already having. So if you're interested in that, you can sign up for the newsletter and get your tickets early. Currently, the ticket price for the early birds is at $499. That will bump up to over $1,000 shortly. Amazing. For everybody that just joined, did a little bit of shilling about stuff happening surrounding the hackathon and surrounding ETHGlobal. If you do have any questions, just drop them directly in the chat. And also going to be a Q&A session afterwards. Cool. So all of you applied to the hackathon. Every single one of you is confirmed, and I'm stoked to meet every single one of you the latest on Friday. So the main section of the homepage, the overview page, has pretty much a lot of the stuff that you already need to know before the event. So the themes and topics that people selected, what they're going to be building on, the big prize pool that we're having. So we have over $500,000 in prizes available this time around from 45 partner companies. We have direct access on this website to a few cool things, one being side events, and another really nice thing is called the City Guide. So this is always super useful for me, for example, traveling to a new city, traveling to a new country. We have listed a bunch of the stuff, like a bunch of do's and don'ts in the city. Like the daily, the weather, if the tap water is safe to drink, the airports, a bunch of like nice pictures, like areas to go, what to do, hotels to stay at, exploring the city, outdoor activities, all that kinds of stuff. It's all linked in our Discord channel, but also directly on the website at ethglobal.com/events/Buenos Aires on the main page, including a bunch of the other things happening. So the City Pack, the Happy Hour, the Pragma, the hacker housing that we were offering. Unfortunately, we are full with this one, and the demo day happening. On this side, you also have the schedule for the event, which is really important because pretty much everything that's happening throughout the week, like leading up to this one, is listed here, including this workshop. Deadline to apply to the actual hackathon is this Sunday. And on Monday, I'm going to be running a virtual team formation session. So if you do not have a team by Monday or in general, or want to get some like feedback on some ideas that you might be having for the hackathon, this is a 1.5-hour workshop that we're running online, and it's also going to be run on the Friday in person after the opening ceremony. Then we do have the overall schedule. So for the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the event registration opens at 1 p.m. Quick note: all those times are in UST -3, so Buenos Aires time, but you can also check what this means for your time zone if you have not flown in yet. Registration starts at 1, and starting 2 p.m. we have a bunch of workshops from our amazing partners. Starting off with one by the Build Guild, which is a really cool one. We usually have like 20-minute workshops, but this one is 1 hour. So if you're completely new to Ethereum, first-time builder, I can highly recommend that one. Kevin and Philip are amazing people. They run fantastic workshops, and it's gonna give you a head start on working with Ethereum. So pretty much up until 6, we have a bunch of workshops. You can get into the building, connect with a lot of people, network, talk to the partners, and would highly encourage you to talk to as many people and as many partners as possible to get like a head start and good idea on what to build. If you don't have that already, at 6:30, we do have dinner, food at the hackathons. Personally, I'm a little bit biased. I say this is top notch as well. At 8 p.m. is the opening ceremony, and between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Friday is when the hacking starts. So before 9 p.m. on the Friday, you should not have touched any code, written anything, done like any assets or whatever could lead into saying like you started early. So even though we open up the doors at 1 p.m., please do not work on your project before 1 p.m. on the Friday. You can brainstorm stuff, you can take notes, you can scaffold stuff out. This is completely fine, but you should not be working on your project before that time, because we do have a bunch of checks in place for that one. And also, that being said, all the projects have to be started from scratch. So you cannot come into this hackathon with an existing project and sell this as something new. As I mentioned, the team formation session happens at 9:30 in person, also roughly like hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, really depends on the group. And then the registration for the day closes at 10 p.m. So between 1 p.m. and 10 p.m. on the Friday, you can come in and register, get your badge, get your wristband, and you're good to go. And at midnight, we do have a late night snack. There's going to be food like snacks and beverages 24/7, but the main courses are always listed on the schedule. So ethglobal.com/event/Buenos Aires, on the schedule page, all you need to know. And we're also going to ping you in Discord, especially for any workshops and also when the food's happening. So at 8 on the Saturday, we open up registration again. There's brunch at 10. The registration closes at 12. And at 1 p.m. we have a macrame bracelet workshop, which is pretty cool. Then we have Alpha Horus stand that's provided by World. So you get some there, and then dinner at 6 p.m. and late night snack at 12. And on Sunday, there's breakfast at 8 a.m. The project submission deadline is due at 9 a.m. on the Sunday. So after 9 a.m., you should not make any changes to anything that you did at the hackathon. You have to submit your project in that time, and any code changes, anything on the infrastructure that has been done after 9 a.m. can cause disqualification. Then we have the partner judging and the main finalist judging. I'm going to explain a little bit about the difference here in a bit. Lunch at 12:30. If you opt in for the finalist track, the finalists or the top 10 teams usually get notified at 3 p.m. and the closing ceremony is at 3:30, where Kartik is going to announce all the finalists. All the finalists are going to demo their projects live on stage. And also all of the other track prize winners are going to be announced. And then at 5 p.m., there's a little bit of an after party, or kind of like a send-off for everyone. And that's the main schedule. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the dashboard, because this is where you're going to be spending a lot, if not most of the time during the hackathon. So the hacker dashboard is where you create your project. This is where you create your team. This is where you submit your project, and this is where you have all the information that you're possibly going to need throughout the hackathon. So you're going to be greeted on the main page. It's going to show you the available packs to you. Again, the hacker pack, everybody should have claimed at this point. Builder pack and pioneer packs are community packs built on top of that. So if you win $100, the second pack unlocks. If you win over 1,000 or made finalists, the pioneer pack unlocks. Sweet. If you have a team or do not have a team, doesn't really matter, especially not at this point. But even at the hackathon, it's completely fine to hack solo, or like with a team of 1. You can have a maximum of 5 people being part of your team. So how that would work, you would head over to the team section in your dashboard. I really hope this loads properly. So I'm just going to keep talking a little bit. There you go. It's called the team management section. So you can invite people directly into your team. So for example, I would like to invite me into this one. I would set invite, then that person would get an email, please join my team. You can invite them directly with the team link or with the team code they can select. And for example, vice versa, if you already have a team of 4 and you want to join this team, you can get the team invite code, paste it here, and you're going to join a team. If you are part of a team and you do no longer like the people, because let's be real, this sometimes happens, you can just leave the team, and this is completely fine as well. That all happens over the team management page. Important thing, you can only be part of one team. So if you're hacking solo, you're a team of 1. If you're hacking with 2 people, it's all one team, and you can only submit one project for the hackathon. So you can be part of one team and you can submit one project for the hackathon. Like the important ones, I would say, for this one. Sweet. If you do not have a team yet, We do have a team formation channel on Discord that I'm going to be sharing later, and also the team formation sessions that I mentioned before, online as well as in person. And there's going to be a total of a maximum of 5 people that can be part of a team, because I just saw that message in the chat. So yeah, 5. Sweet. For example, if you are unsure, if you just want to like browse around a little bit, we do have a cool feature that is called Find Team Members. So if you're connected with Discord on ETHGlobal.com, you can click this handy little checkbox right here, and it's going to show you a list of everybody that checked this one as well and opted in. So they can submit their interests, their skills, and you can search for those people too. So hackers that are looking to join a team, or teams that are looking for members. So you can see, for example, their experience in software development, their languages they're working on, their skills, their name, and their Discord handle. So you can directly message those people, which is cool. This is opt-in. So if you do not check this box, you will not show up there. This is completely optional. And it's also completely fine to just find a team at the time the hackathon already has started. Just as long as you have something before submission deadline, it's completely fine. So even if you don't really have a team or working on something, not really sure when to start by like Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, that's still completely fine. We're just providing these tools to help you out a little bit to make this whole thing a bit easier. Sweet. Then the really important part. Before I'm going to jump to this one, we do have FAQ and info sections. I assume everybody read through the FAQ and info sections already. So the info section I generally really appreciate, because it covers everything that I'm doing during this workshop, but in written form, so people can read up on it. And the 2 main ones I would say for getting information would be the getting started. It goes through the entire process from how to apply to the hackathon, on how the hackathon actually runs. So most of you should be past this point already. But more importantly, I would say, are the rules and submissions for the judging process. I'm going to go over all of them, but a few key things are: the submission deadline is listed, how you're actually submitting, the demo video, I'm going to say a few words about this one later as well, the partner prizes, and really important, the general rule sets, which would be start fresh. So have a fresh project, do not recycle an idea, do not build on top of an existing hackathon project. Using something like like Scaffold Eve or like a boilerplate like Next.js starting, completely fine, but the project itself has to be started from scratch. Use proper version control. You have to work on GitHub. You have to connect your GitHub. I'm going to show this as well. And you have to have proper version control. So if you just submit like one single commit with like 50,000 lines of code, that's a no-go. So we should be able to see and verify that this project was actually built throughout the hackathon and that people were properly working with this in like a proper fashion. Again, like open source libraries and boilerplates are completely fine, and you should include everything. So everything that you use, like the GitHub, like any Figma files, like any design assets, anything that you used, it should be somehow referenced. And same applies to AI tools. It's completely fine to use like Claude, to use ChatGPT, Cursor, whatever. It should not be the main driver. So it's completely fine to use it, but completely vibe coded projects, not really great. And you should always list on how you actually used it. So there's a section on the submission page that asks you, hey, how did you integrate AI into your project? If you did, no need to lie about this. It's completely fine to use AI. Just don't completely rely on it, because most of the time, especially in Web3, it gets a bit tiny bit messy when it comes to that. Okay, cool. So on the dashboard, we do have the project. So what I would do now is the important part is I'm going to create the actual project for the hackathon. So this is something that only one person of the team has to do. Everybody can edit the project, but only one person has to actually fill this out and later also submit. It's completely fine to work on this one. It's completely fine to submit as many times as you need up until the deadline, meaning we always encourage people to submit the project as early as possible, even if it's not in a finished state, because having a submitted project is the one requirement to get your stake back. If you did not submit a project, then you will not be able to get your stake back after the event. So let's see, I prepared a bunch of stuff to not waste a ton of time in typing everything out. So I would set the name, I would select the category. If it's multiple ones, just select one. I'm just gonna say this is a developer tool, and the emoji that suits best for this one, I would say, is this. You have to agree that you have read all of this. So what I said before, project has to be started from scratch. You'll be using GitHub and committing changes frequently. You have to open source the submission, at least for the duration of the hackathon and until the prizes are paid out. So the repository has to be public. It cannot be private. It has to be public for us to verify it properly, and you cannot just give us direct access. It has to be open throughout the entirety of the duration. I will not be submitting this project to a different hackathon, and I will abide to the official ETHGlobal event rules. Then you would go ahead and create the actual project. Takes a few seconds, and it gives a bunch of information. So we usually open up the project submission on Saturday morning. So starting Saturday morning, you can submit your project. But you can start filling out a bunch of the stuff, which we're going to be doing now. And another key thing, we recommend to start the submission early, because, for example, if you wait 10 minutes until the submission deadline and still have to record a 4-minute video, a 4-minute video takes longer than 4 minutes to record, to edit, and to upload. And we want to avoid having like the troublesome last couple of minutes. So make sure to at least submit the project once, way ahead of the deadline. You can make changes, you can resubmit as many times as you need. Completely fine. Sweet. So we need to provide a demo link if we have the project live and up and running, which is also a requirement for the finalist track. I'm gonna explain the difference between finalist and partner judging in a bit. We're gonna have to set a short description of the project, no longer than 100 characters. Then the actual description, I would recommend to spend a lot of time in the description and in the how it's made, because this is what's going to show up at the showcase later. So people will use this to firstly check what's this project actually about, and then how was this project actually built. So again, same thing with the previous step. Don't wait too long to do this. It's completely fine to have like placeholder data until the submission, but don't underestimate that part. Like the submission form, I would say it takes about like 45 minutes to actually fill out properly. You can prepare all that stuff in advance in like Google Docs or something and just copy paste, but don't wait until the last minute, because it does take a little bit and people underestimate this immensely. Okay, sweet. Then you would connect your GitHub account. The person connecting it has to be part of that. If it's an organization, they have to have proper access to it to connect. The repository you can add as well. You have to install like the ETHGlobal app on your GitHub before. I did that in advance because it's gonna take a little bit. So I'm adding my GitHub project right here. It's open source, it's open, everybody can access it. I have this page filled out. I can just hit save changes. If there's any issue with any of the data filled in, it will ping you and say like, hey, something's missing here, something is wrong. And everything that has a red cross up here, this like a red asterisk, is the fields that have to be filled out. So next up, we have the images to be uploaded. So we require a logo, a cover image, and at least 3 screenshots. This is going to be showing up on the showcase page later. I'm going to show some examples on that. This is how the project is going to be showcased to the judges as well as to everybody, because I think we have over 15,000 projects that were ever created during ETHGlobal hackathons, and all of them are available in our showcase page that I'm going to show later. So I would go ahead and do the images for now. So I do have the logo that I'm uploading. I do have a cover image. And I'm gonna upload a bunch of screenshots. These forms support drag and drop, but I'm just gonna, for the sakes and purposes, just doing it right here. Once these are all uploaded, I'm gonna hit save changes. And also a thing to keep in mind, because people tend to forget this, the project rules are always going to be on the site too. So again, project open source, version control from scratch. And here's going to be the important part about the video. So video is required if you opt in for the finalist track. The video has to be between 2 minutes and 4 minutes long. It cannot be shorter than 2 minutes. It cannot be longer than 4 minutes. It has to be at least 720p. That includes the proper aspect ratio. Sometimes people say like, oh, the thing is 720p or 1080p, but the aspect ratio is completely messed up. And it has to have audio, but not music. So somebody speaking over what's actually happening. Next up, we do have the tech stack, so everything that you used to build this actual project. You have to fill at least one for each of the sections. If there's something that you use that it's not there, that's completely fine too. This is just for statistical purposes. So assuming I used 1inch blockchain, I used Arbitrum, I can select as many as I need or build on. Programming languages, I say I'm using assembly and C. Web frameworks, obviously using ASP.NET. Database, used Couchbase. Design, used Figma, as everybody does. Specific technologies and libraries, so anything that's not on there that you want to show, like, hey, I used this to build this, you can just enter this here. And if you have used any AI tooling, which, let's be real, almost everybody uses at this point, just write a paragraph on why you, like, how you used it and where you used it, so we can verify this afterwards. You just hit save on this one as well. So after any changes, you should always click save to make sure it's there. And here is, I would say, comes the important part. So we have two different tracks. If something is not clear, feel free to just ask a question, and all this stuff again is recorded, and it's also visible on the rules and judging section of the info pages. So you have two options, one being the top 10 finalists and partner prizes, and one being the partner prizes only. If you only select partner prizes, you can select up to 3 partners, the technology that you used and built with. You select them right here. You write descriptions on how you use them, where you use them, like a direct link. If it's multiple occasions, it's fine to just paste one or add like a link to the README. You can rate how easy it was to use it and integrate it, and you can provide feedback. This is going to be visible to the partners directly. So if there's anything you want to say to them, you can just write it right there. So this is important for both sides. You can provide feedback, they can get the feedback and improve upon that. So you can select a maximum of 3. If you do more, you're going to get this, this little button on the side. So if you submit for the partner prizes only, you do not have to demo live. You can pitch to all of the partners that you built a project with, but you do not have to. This is completely optional. They're going to judge you based on the submission only. So based on if you recorded a video, based on your code quality, based on how it's actually working, how nice it is, whatever, they're just going to judge you based on that. So you do not have to do that. I still recommend just talking to them and pitching the project, because it's great to get feedback directly from the partners. But again, it's optional. So you're eligible for all the prizes that you applied for if you just submit the project. That changes if you select the top 10 finalists and partner prizes. So for the partner prizes, it still remains the same. But for the top 10 finalist judging, you would go into a separate round of judging. So we do have between 20 and 30 industry leaders and industry judges that are separate from the protocols that are there. And they're gonna judge your project based on the demo that you give them directly and the quality of your code. So how that would look like this is a map of the venue on the Sunday at 9:30. If you have submitted your project and selected that track, you would head to the main judging rooms. You would get a judging room assigned. We have 10 to 12 judging rooms. You have 4 minutes to demo your project. There's a TV with a dongle that connects. They have a direct Ethernet. You have video, so you can have like a live demonstration. You can show slides and you can show your actual projects. And that is followed by a 3-minute Q&A. So 4-minute demo, 3-minute Q&A, so 7 minutes in total. This is if you want to apply for the top 10 finalists. So why would you want to do that? So the top 10 teams out of, let's assume, 200 teams trying to get into that spot, they're considered ETHGlobal finalists. They will be presenting their projects live on stage in front of thousands of people. They get a lot of traction from just being finalists. A lot of projects will reach out to you afterwards. For example, see like if you want to continue building this, do you want to have funds? Do you want to keep on doing awesome stuff that you did during the hackathon? So it's great if you're specifically looking to turn this project into something that's not just like a one-off hackathon project. Also, there's a bit of a financial incentive on this one as well. All of our finalists get 1,000 USDC per team member on top of all the prizes that they've won. You get a special on-chain NFT that proves that you are a finalist at ETHGlobal. You get a special ETHGlobal finalist hoodie. You get invites to events specifically with crypto founders to network and talk about your projects or how you can proceed with those. You get a flight credit to the next ETHGlobal event. So if you make finalist during this hackathon right here, and you attend the next one, we're going to be releasing the schedule very, very soon in 2026. We're going to give you $500 USDC as like a thank you for being a finalist and thank you for joining us again. So I'd say there's a pretty big incentive on trying to be like one of the top 10 teams. But again, if you don't really care about this, if it's just for the project and you don't want to demonstrate this thing live, completely fine. Just select partner prizes only, select the prizes that you want to apply for, write the information down, and you're good to go. If you have used more than 3 partner technologies, you can still acknowledge that you use them, like right here. Important, only the 3 that you selected in this one up here will actually count it as prizes. So you can select none, you can select up to 3, but only the ones that you selected you're actually eligible, and make sure to properly select them up here, because for every single one you have to select them. There's this box that opens up, you have to fill all of those out, and then you can save the changes and continue to the next. This is really important because if you do not do this, the project or the partners will not know that you selected their track. So for example, if you say you build something on Ronin, Espresso, and XMTP, select those 3, provide that information, and hit save. If you use other stuff, for example, like PIF and 1inch, you can select that too. For those, you will not be eligible to get prizes. So maximum of 3 that you are eligible to claim bounties for. Then we have the video. So while it's optional to have a video for the partner track, it is necessary for the finalists, and I generally recommend to have a video, because in case you're demoing something, in case your application, even if you have it deployed live and it breaks, you can no longer use it, Wi-Fi goes down, they can still watch the videos to review it. So just taking like a basic 2 to 4 minute video, don't spend too much time on slides and on like a product market fit and that kind of stuff. Like our hackathons are really, really technical. So make sure you showcase your actual project, show how it's built. And what I said before, has to be between 2 and 4 minutes long, 720p minimum resolution, and audio, but no music. There's checks running here. So I'm just going to show this to you as well. So I'm going to upload a video. If it fails any of those checks, you're going to have to re-upload the video. So make sure, like when you're recording it, it doesn't have to be a one shot. You can edit the video completely fine. Just has to be between 2 and 4 minutes, 720p at least, and audio, but no music. If this whole thing passes, you see like there's this little double arrow thing. When it's processing, after it passes, it's going to give you either the checkbox saying like this is fine, or it's going to say, nah, this did not work, please re-upload it. And it's also going to show you where it failed and what actually failed from the check perspective. Then can't fill this out now because it's only opening up when the submissions are actually open. If you want to have interest, like if you're interested in getting like grants or future opportunities, you can select this here. And once the submission is done, it's gonna run through a bunch of checks as well. It's gonna show you where you potentially made a mistake or where something is missing. And once all that is done, submissions are open, you can just hit submit project and your project is submitted. You're definitely gonna get your stake back. That being said, you can repeat this step as many times as you need. So if you have to make any changes before, like upload different videos, upload the description, change the repository because you messed something up, you can do that as many times as you need before 9 a.m. on a Sunday. So even if you submit the project once, you can re-edit and resubmit just make sure to submit at least once before 9 a.m. to get your stake back and actually get your project in. Because if you do not submit the project, the partners cannot see it, it cannot evaluate it, and you're definitely not eligible to get any of the prizes. And it's also going to show you if you have members in your team that haven't checked into the actual hackathon, it's going to show you right here. If you hit submit the project and those people haven't checked in, they're going to get kicked out of the team. So be mindful of that. The people in your team have to be present at the hackathon. This is a 100% IRL hackathon. We do not allow remote participation. Amazing. Just checking real quick. No questions so far. Cool. Let's go ahead. I showed you the project submission, and this is pretty much all you need to know. I'm going to be sending you a bunch of emails and a bunch of Discord pings when the submission deadline is approaching. So please do not ignore those. If you haven't joined the Discord, please do now. It's really, really helpful to get communication updates about the hackathon, because all of that stuff is going to post there as well, and it's already there. So we have the dashboard, we have the project submission, we have the team. Another thing that we do have at the venue is a bunch of mentors. So I'm going to show Discord right afterwards because it blends in perfectly. So we do have about 30 technical mentors that are not necessarily affiliated with any of the projects that are at the actual hackathon venue. So these are independent mentors. They're going to be at the venue 24/7. Not all of them, but they have shifts assigned. So there should be at least somebody at the venue to support you at any time. And they're generally there to provide feedback on your project, to help you with technical issues. You see that every one of them has their skills listed as well as their Discord and Twitter handles. So you can connect them there directly or just approach them directly at the hackathon. There's a mentor booth, which is going to be located, let's see, where do we have it? Like right here in the center pretty much of the main floor on level 2. So this is where the mentors are going to be for the most part of the time, but they're also going to be wandering around the venue. The cool thing is they're going to be highly, highly visible. They have bright yellow vests on. They kind of look like construction workers. They have a big mentor lettering on the back, so you can directly approach them if you have any questions. Be nice, be cool about it. They're trying to be nice and cool as well. Everybody's friends, everybody's having a good time, and they're going to try to support you as much as possible. And then we have from all 45 partners that are going to be sharing as well. They have partner tables and partner booths. So if you have any question that is specific to a technology, I would always recommend to go to them directly or ask them questions on Discord. But the most direct way is usually to approach them. They're not going to be at the venue 24/7. So usually like Friday night to Saturday morning, probably the booths are going to be a bit empty, and like Saturday night to Sunday morning, the booths are going to be a bit empty, but for the remainder of the most time, they're going to be there and somewhat available. But if you have any questions in the meantime, when somebody's not there, just drop them into the Discord. And a big piece of advice that I could give is don't ask don't ask to ask questions, but ask questions directly. So if you say like, hey, I have a specific issue, this is the issue, these are the details, can you help me? That gives you much, much quicker support than just saying like, oh, I have a question, can I ask the question? So don't ask to ask question. Somebody's asking for the link to Discord. This is directly in your Hacker dashboard. So if you go to the dashboard directly, there's a button that asks you to connect your account with Discord. So I did this already. If not, there's going to be a big blue button that literally says connect to Discord. You do this, you're automatically going to get the roles assigned. So you're going to get access to all of the channels for ETHGlobal Buenos Aires. It also links to the team members. There's a thing to connect with other attendees. Everybody's going to get an NFC wristband that you're going to have to wear at all times. Do not cut this wristband off. If you do, you will get denied access. If you lose it or like you cut it off, you potentially can come back in, but we're gonna slash your stake and gonna be really, really mad with you. So please do not cut off your wristband once you get it. There's an NFC chip in there. You can tap your phone, you can tap other people's wristbands. It's a double opt-in, and then you can share your socials, for example, and have a list of all the connections that you made during the hackathon. This also shows your project again, so everybody in your team has access to the project once it's created, and everybody can edit it. And on the up next, it shows as soon as the submission opens, you're going to be able to click this one and get to the submission page, and then they present to judges as soon as the actual hackathon or the hacking part of the hackathon actually ends. So yeah, to get to Discord, either go to ethglobal.com/discord. To get the invite link, I always recommend to use this one. So use the dashboard and from there connect directly, because you're automatically going to get all of the roles assigned to you, which is great. Sweet. The stake return, don't worry about that too much. As soon as you submit your project, you're eligible. We're going to return the stakes within 3 weeks. Usually we're going to announce it during the closing ceremony on when we're actually going to distribute the stakes again. This is where your ticket is going to show up. It's going to be there about 48 hours before the actual hackathon. So you're going to get it via email, but also it's going to be visible right here. On the check-in, please actually have your ticket ready and a piece of ID so we can verify it's you. There's also another view of the schedule. You can also search stuff. So if you search for, let's see if that works, dinner, sweet. It's going to show you all the dinner times directly. It's going to show the times for the talk and everything. Let's get to a part that a lot of people are really looking for, and this is the prizes. So there's 2 ways to get to the actual prize page, one being in the overview page and one directly here. So every single partner has their total prize amount listed. So the top ones being at $20,000 and the smallest pool they have is $5,000. Just gonna go to the other one real quick. It's going to take a bit to load. So the ethglobal.com/events/Buenos Aires/prizes page, gonna paste this real quick in chat as well. That one has all of the prizes and partners available. So some haven't filled out their prize information yet. This should be updated by the beginning of the week. Next week, but most of them have it already. So for example, PIF displays information about PIF, the prizes, like what they're actually distributing potentially, from $4,000 for the first prize in most innovative use of PIF pool prize feeds. They have links to all of their resources and docs, which is fantastic. So if we have any questions about that or want to look up how to actually use and integrate it, it's directly on this page. They show the qualification requirements of what you have to do to actually be eligible for the prize amount. And if they have any workshop, the workshop is also going to be linked directly here. So for example, for World, 20K total, link to World and their Twitter. You can open up a separate page that has just the World information. There are prizes for the best mini app and the pool prize, as well as the workshop. So this workshop is going to happen in person. All the workshops are happening on Friday. This is going to be in workshop room 1 at 5:30 p.m. So the same applies to all of our 45 amazing partners. Again, not all of them have their prizes listed yet, but it will be updated by the beginning of next week, ideally. Sweet. We have that, we have that, we have that. If you are in need of testnet tokens, we do have a direct faucet that each and every single one of you should have access to. We have 18 chains that you can get testnet ETH on. By default, everybody gets 0.05 ETH a day. If you have certain packs, you get additional ETH. So for example, the highest packs we have is the finalist pack as well as the pioneer pack. For that one, everybody gets 1 ETH a day on all of those chains, or the equivalent. So you get like 1 ETH a day on Sepolia, and I think like 20 USDC on like 20 USDC on Ethereum Sepolia as well. Same as like Fill for Filecoin, for Scroll, for Monad. So pretty much every L2 that we have at the venue should have testnet tokens here available as well, on top of their own faucets that they're having. So you should not be running out of any testnet tokens. You would just click directly on the one that you want to get. You can select multiple wallets. So for example, if you have like a specific testing wallet, have multiple ones attached, just click that one, click claim, and the 0.1 ETH would be sent directly to that wallet, which I would say is pretty cool to have. So you don't really have to worry about it that much, and you shouldn't run out of it. Amazing. So I talked a lot about the Discord. I'm actually going to show it to you now in case you are not part of it already. So the Discord server is the main hub of communication So we're going to post every single update, like everything is on a schedule. Whenever there's like any changes, any notifications, everything's going to be posted here. We have an automatic bot that sends any event updates. So if there's like a workshop happening, you're going to get pinged like 50 minutes before. If there's food happening, you're going to get pinged there. So I highly recommend for everybody to join the Discord, connect with ETHGlobal.com to get the roles assigned for Buenos Aires. It also has a list with all the information that you need, and we're also going to be using this channel to provide you with information throughout the next couple of days, especially during the hackathon. So it has links to the dashboard, to the info center that I showed, to all of the FAQs, which I highly recommend everybody reading, to a bunch of resources. Then there's a calendar that has every single event in there as well that you can subscribe to and just import directly. The information and details about the rules and judging. I know it's a lot of stuff to read, but I generally recommend everybody to specifically check out this section because it's going to eliminate a lot of the questions that you're going to be having. And it's also going to help you a lot, especially close to the submission deadline. Because most of the questions or most of the complaints that I'm getting, most of the issues that I'm getting are related to people not properly reading that specific document. It also explains how the judging process works and how you're going to get judged. So by technicality, originality, practicality, UI, UX, DX, and the wow factor, it also gives you tips for recording a great demo video, including some like nice projects in the past. For example, Cadbury, pretty cool because Cadbury turned into Huddle 01. So you can see stuff in there that turned into actual projects later. So yeah. And in general, if you have any questions, any suggestions, can reach us directly on Discord or via email. There's an email called hello@ethglobal.com, which a lot of people I know in this call already reached out to. And I'd say like 95% of the time, I'm responding to those emails as well. So on Discord, we have the information, the event schedule, our code of conduct that everybody has to abide to. Then the Find a Team channel. So for example, if you have a fantastic idea, you have 2 people in your team, you're desperately looking for a smart contract developer, for example, because both of you are full stack, but cannot for the life of it write a smart contract, I would recommend to drop that information here saying like, hey, this is my name, this is what I do, this is the stuff that I built in the past. And we look in, or like, this is what we're going to build, and this is what we're actually looking for in a team member. Would be cool, just DM us, or let's just meet in person somewhere around DevConnect, at Pragma, or during the hackathon. So a lot of teams form actually in advance, specifically through Discord. So you could just like message people and get together, or join one of these sessions that I'm going to be running online next week, Monday, or in person on Friday. Then we have an overall Buenos Aires chat, which is people chatting, dropping a bunch of information that's semi or crazy relevant. A lot of people sometimes talk about like accommodation or like getting together before, just hanging out, that kind of stuff. We have a specific channel for mentorship. So if you have any question that is like not specific to technology, but you need help with, for example, like, hey, I have no idea why this smart contract is behaving the way it does. I cannot find the issue. Can somebody take a look at it? Then our mentors, which all have the mentor tag on Discord, can jump on this and look into this one. And as I said before, don't ask to ask questions, just ask the question directly. It's also linked to every single partner channel. So every single partner that's at the event has their own Discord channel where you can reach them and ask questions too. And all of them also have the information about the prizes, information about the team, prize details, and if they have a workshop, it's also linked there directly. So for example, let's say you have an issue integrating ENS in your project, or have a general question about ENS, and you can't find a team, or you don't really want to approach the team directly because you're shy, completely fine. You can drop the information here and say like, hey, I'm running into this issue. Can somebody please support me? So highly recommended. One question, is it possible to participate even if I'm alone and I can't code? It is technically possible. That being said, the main focus of ETHGlobal Hackathons is onboarding like Web 2 developers into Web 3. So if you don't have any coding background, it's a little bit tricky. I mean, there's AI that can support you, but especially if you're a complete beginner, I would recommend to look for a team and see if you can find some people to just hack with. And like contribute in ways that don't necessarily are coding related. So for example, if you're like a designer, if you're like a product guy, if you are like an ML expert or something, there's always ways to contribute, even if you don't know how to code. But hacking solo, not knowing how to code, you can still try it out. You can still vibe code some stuff, but again, not recommended to do like a full one-shot vibe coded project. That's not necessarily the spirit of the hackathon. But if you just want to test it out, sure, you can still do that too. Okay, so every partner from Circuit to OG AI is available here. So if you have any questions for the teams, drop them directly there. This channel is not open yet, but if you have any internet issues at the venue, just one thing up ahead, please let us know where you're sitting. Please, for the sake of everything that is holy, do not use hotspots. We try to provide the best internet experience for everybody, but if people are using hotspots, it wrecks it for everyone. We had a really, really bad case about that in New Delhi, where we had, I think at some point, over 200 people hotspotting. So even the hotspots were useless because everything was interfering. So do not hotspot and you should be completely fine during the hackathon. Sweet. If you have any questions or issues, we also have a nifty thing called SOS support. You can create a ticket directly. That's going to open up a ticket that's only going to be visible to you and the ETHGlobal staff. So if you run into any issues, just open up a ticket there, and usually I'm the one jumping in to support. I would advise not to send any DMs directly, specifically during the hackathon, because it gets really, really busy and people just don't really see DMs from the team. So try to use like the official channels, so either the SOS support or hello@ethglobal.com to get proper support. Sweet. Just gonna go briefly over the venue map. This is available on the website directly. If you scroll down, it has a nice legend of like everything that you need to know. So the entry that's gonna open up for you at 1 p.m. on the Friday next week. You register, you get in, you have your ticket ready, you have your ID ready, we verify that, we check you in, you're gonna get a nice wristband and a badge. The badge you don't have to wear all the time, but it's kind of handy because it has your name on it too, and it's like, it's nice and visible to see like, hey, you're actually there. Otherwise you just take it off and collect it, completely fine too. The wristband you do not cut off. It's completely fine to stay on. You can take a shower with this. It's not going to get damaged. It should be kept on at all times throughout the duration of the hackathon. If we catch somebody at the venue without the wristband, they're going to get kicked out and the stake is going to get slashed, and there's no discussion about this. So the main venue is on the second floor. We have a big main stage and a big hacking area. All the partners are going to have booths there. There's the snacks and beverage stations that are going to be filled 24/7. So at any time, there's like at least some sort of like food or snack available, and some drinks are going to be available at all times as well. So you should never be crazy hungry or super thirsty. And then the main meals are going to be happening in the catering and meal section on the ground floor. There's also a first aid station and an ambulance in case something goes really wrong. All the washrooms or restrooms are also directly on the map for you to see. We have a lot of hacking space, so there should be around 1,000 or a bit more than 1,000 hackers. So plenty of space to spread around, plenty of space to talk to people. All the workshop rooms that are going to be open on Friday, so workshop room 1 to 5. Are all on the same area, and those are going to be turned into resting rooms or chill spaces throughout the night. So that being said, you can stay at the venue from 1 p.m. on the Friday until about like 5 or 6 p.m. on the Sunday, pretty much before we have to tear the entire thing down. You do not have to leave the venue. You can leave the venue, you can re-enter and exit as many times as you want. You do not have to stay, but you can stay. So the chill spaces are a bit limited and not the most comfortable. There's like air mattresses and it's like first come, first serve, but you can crash at the venue. At some point, there's people going to be sleeping on tables, under tables. It's a hackathon, so that happens. That being said, try to get some rest, try to get some time, and don't crazily overdo everything. There's also a hacker storage, so if you have any luggage, you can drop it there. That being said, it's on your own risk. We It's not monitored. There's no security cameras or anything. So if something gets lost or stolen, ETHGlobal is not accountable for that. So it's at your own risk, but you can drop the stuff there. Then judging rooms are going to be open on 9:30 on the Sunday for the main judging until around like 12:30. So if you opt in for the main finalist judging track, I would highly recommend to do this one as early as possible because it gets really crowded. We have a bunch of other stuff like a photo booth you can take photos with, like more snacks and beverage stations. Spotlight are previous ETHGlobal teams that turned into like early stage startups. They're going to have booths there too. So check those out and get information there. We have a dedicated help desk and a booth about ETHConf as well. And this thing, again, I said, is available on the website, and it was also shared on Discord directly. Amazing. Few more things, and then I would go over to a quick Q&A session. If you have already a question, just drop it in the chat. I mentioned before, we do have our showcase. So the showcase currently has over 15,000 projects from every single event from ETH Online that finished end of October until ETH Waterloo in 2017. So you can filter by those and filter by names. One thing ahead, the search works great, but the filtering is not fantastic, so it's a bit tricky to find certain things. But you can see all the projects that have ever been built at an ETHGlobal hackathon directly, and you can break them down at least a little bit by the names, or for example, I want to only see the ones for Prague and Cannes, and then only the ones for Prague and Cannes are going to show up. I'm going to go to Hashlogged, because this is one of the projects that made a finalist in Cannes, if I'm not mistaken. Exactly. And this is what I mentioned before with the project. So this shows the video, this shows the screenshots and the information. It links directly to the source code. There's a project description, how it's made, and the prizes that this thing actually won. So with Hashlogged, he won the first prize for 1inch, as well as made the ETHGlobal finalist. So this badge is going to be on your project too, if you make it to one of the top 10 teams. So if you want to get some inspiration on projects that were built at ETHGlobal before, look no further than the ethglobal.com/showcase. Also, we post every single finalist project directly on our Twitter/X account under the highlights tab. So if your project makes it to the top 10, we're going to specifically tweet this out, including a thread which has information about each and every single project. So this is a great way to get amplified. This is a great way to be visible and for other people in the industry, because if you see we have over 100,000 followers, your project will be seen, and those threads get viewed by like a lot of people. So this one has like 16,000 impressions, and that was like less than a month ago. Yeah, so you can get information on our x.com/ETHGlobal as well as our showcase page. Then every single workshop, every single thing that we're running is available on our YouTube channel. We have over 2,800 videos at this point, which should be the largest Web3 library in the world. So every single workshop from ETH Waterloo in 2017 until every single workshop that's happening in person right here is going to get recorded and can be rewatched at any time. So this one is currently live, obviously. As you can see, it's not showing up, but afterwards this thing is going to be like this workshop that we're currently running, is recorded, it's live streamed, and it's going to be visible here as well. So you can rewatch everything if you have any questions or run into any problem. There we go. There's my face. Sweet. That is pretty much it. We are almost at the hour. If there's a bunch of questions, we can go over a little bit. This is completely fine. So yeah, if you have any question, drop it in the chat or just unmute yourself and ask. But again, be aware, this is all recorded, this is live streamed. So if you don't want your voice or your face on the internet, then don't do it. But you can also just post a question in the chat. In general, I will be highly available throughout the hackathon. So pretty much from Friday to Sunday, you will see me sitting around or running around the venue quite a lot, as well as everybody of the ETHGlobal staff. We highly encourage you to just talk to us and chat. We sometimes might look a little bit busy or being like stressed. We still try to talk to as many people as possible. Don't get mad at us if we don't have a crazy amount of time. I'll try to make as much time as possible, but sometimes stuff is just on fire and we're trying to like take out those fires. But in general, we have a bunch of volunteers, we have mentors, we have amazing people at the event. And in the end, we're all just trying to be friends and do something cool and build something cool and give you people like the hackers like the best supporting environment that you can have to build the best possible projects. So yeah, but that being said, if you have any question, any suggestions, hello@ethglobal.com or just on Discord, open up a SO support ticket. If it's something personal, for example, if it's something that might benefit everybody else, you can also ask questions in any of the open channels. It's completely fine. Sweet. That was awesome. Congratulations. And thanks so much for organizing that. Much appreciated. This is really, really nice to hear. Yeah, I hope the workshop was useful, at least for some. I hope you learned something. I hope I don't have to remind at least the ones that joined this call too much about the stuff I went through in this call. But again, this entire thing is recorded. All of the information is on the info page as well, specifically when it comes to the judging process, which again, it can be a little bit confusing. It can be a lot. I've been talking for like an hour straight, a lot of information. But yeah, just reach out. If you have any question, just talk to anybody at the event. We try to be as approachable as possible. Sweet. Gonna leave it open for like another minute or two. If there's like any question, excited to be part of the event. It's my first physical participation at ETHGlobal. Thanks for the information. Be a wolf. Yeah, no worries. Awesome to have you in person as well. Like our online events are really, really fun, but I would say I prefer the in-person events a little bit more because it's a different vibe. It's a different atmosphere. Like the people are just amazing. You have the chance to talk to some of the smartest people in the entire ecosystem, which is great. I mean, I only got into Web3 because of an ETHGlobal event, because one of my coworkers convinced me to fly to Sydney last year and join ETHGlobal Sydney. It was the smallest event they ever had, but it was fantastic. I was the dumbest person in the room. It was great. I learned so much in 3 days. I was a complete noob, but I'm still a complete noob, but yeah, it was still great. I was treated well. Everybody's amazing. Everybody's super, super nice and fun. And yeah. Another thing too, because I forgot that, we do have recap videos of everything. So there's going to be a photo and video team running around the venue 24/7 as well. And they're going to get like a lot of impressions. We do have like no photograph stickers. So if you don't want to have your picture taken, just slap that one on. It's completely fine. But yeah, we have our Flickr album. I'm going to drop that in the Discord as well. Which has every single event from 2017 to now with like high quality pictures, and it's we're gonna upload about like 1,000 to 2,000 pictures for this event as well, which is great. And then yeah, you can always like watch the recap videos, which is cool to see like what happened during the hackathon. Maybe spot yourself on there too, which is, yeah, I really, really like those because the production quality is super high, and it's always cool to like see like, oh cool, I actually missed this during the hackathon. Oh, there's my buddy. Oh yeah, this is us doing judging. Really, really fun. Truly, thus far, this is the most organized hackathon I've joined. That is cool to hear. That being said, we do have a reputation of running great hackathons, but there's always room for improvement. So if there's anything that you would like to see us do better in the future, being it like this instruction session, for example, or something that happens during the hackathon, before the hackathon, or after the hackathon, let us know. There is a feedback submission form. I'm gonna completely lost. There you go. So after you submit the project, you actually do get a form. It takes, I would say, less than crud. It takes less than 2 minutes to fill out, and you can actually provide feedback to us. I go over every single feedback submission. For the last 2 hackathons, it was a combined of over 1,000 submissions. I read through all of them. I forward that stuff to the team, and we try to make the next event even better than the one before. So if you say this event was like 99% perfect, but if you would change this one thing, it would be the best event, then just let us know. It's completely fine to be honest about this, and I would appreciate that a lot. And also we randomly raffle 5 special edition hoodies amongst everybody that submitted the feedback. And unfortunately, it looks like something on our website broke, so I cannot show this to you right now. I'm really happy that it just broke now and not earlier. But yeah, that's a great way to end this, I would say, at this point. Cool. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I really, really appreciate the time that everybody put in here and listened to me yap for like an hour. If there's anything that you like need to know leading up to the hackathon, just shoot me a message, post it in the channel, send something to hello@ethglobal.com. I'm super excited to meet everybody here in person, either at Pragma, at the happy hour, or at the hackathon. And yeah, like don't be a stranger, just approach me. My name is Pascal, and I'm less frightening than I usually look. So yeah, have a fantastic day and see you all next week. Bye bye.